All right. So, let me go ahead and get myself situated here, because yeah, I got something that's gonna really bug the shit out you. I keep on hearing all this hooting and hollering and whatnot about, oh, Balsa's the best, and you need to try Balsa as your carbon source, and you need to do this and you need to do that and all that and funny and whatnot. And I'm gonna point some of that out at you. I just ran a full cylinder of 50/50, and pardon me for being a little bit loud. My ears are still ringing. Anyways, so I shot a full cylinder of the 50/50. I was like, okay, well, let's see what the balsa will do. And so I took my cylinder and I reloaded it with 2 shots of 50/50 and 2 shots of balsa, just so that I'd have something to kind of immediately check against. And I must say, I am so thoroughly unimpressed with balsa wood powder that I will never be doing that again. I would much rather have something that is powerful. And when I says powerful, I mean when I shoot it, it throws a lead ball out there with so much authority that a second shot may not be necessary. This is why I like my powder, why I'm very particular about my powder, and why, and before you ask, oh, well, Blaine, what are you talking about? This powder or that powder or that. Okay, well, let's be clear. I fired a grand total of 10 rounds out of my pistol. Okay. And I was utilizing a batch of 50/50 powder compressed to a density of, mathematically, 1.6 to 1.8. And balsa wood powder compressed to the exact same, utilizing a scientific compression die. And I'll show you both those powders here just a second. Matter of fact, be right back. So, yeah, my ears are still ringing. Still. That tells you something about this powder. Anyways, so I have my cylinder I shot. All right. And yes, I want to have a cigarette because my hands are doing this shit. A little jiggly crap. Okay. I'm not handling powder right now. I have powder next to me, but it is closed and secured and whatnot, so I feel secure with smoking a cigarette. Anyways, so here we go. These 4 on the top row here, we're utilizing where my powder test. Okay. Now I want you to take a good look at that. If I can catch the light right. Well, you know what? Tell you what, I got a better light for this. All right. So let's see here. You can kind of see down in there. All right. Kind of hard for me to hold this and do all the fun shit, but you can kind of see how that some of it's dirtier than the others, right? That's the joke. It ain't fucking dirtier than the others. They're all the same dirtiness. Two of those are Balsa, and two of those are 50-50 powder. Meaning 50-50 Balsa and Osage Orange or Red Cedar, whichever one that one is. I'm pretty sure it's Osage Orange. Okay. So, like I says, you can tell that there is no fucking difference whatsoever. This is why I don't trust people when they say something on the interwebs. Because I don't trust you. And the proof is right there. You can't tell which ones were which. And I guarantee you that. You cannot tell which ones were 50-50 powder and which ones were Balsa. And you know how I know this? Because when you look down inside of there, the ones that were Balsa are fucking dirty as frick. And the ones that were 50-50 powder are about the same as dirty. I mean, I can't tell the difference between which cylinder, which chamber in which, it was which. But I'll tell you this much. This one and this one were the 50-50 powder. This one and this one were the Balsa. There is no difference. There is none. No fucking difference in that. But there is a massive difference in the power. And when I say a massive difference in the power, let me put it this way. That 50-50 powder is enough to make your ears ring till next fucking Tuesday. Balsa wood powder, I barely even fucking registered. I'd made a shot. I actually had, I sat down. I was like, fuck, I need to check my pistol. I need to make sure that ball left the gun. That's the difference here. And that balsa wood powder is compressed to the exact same ratio. It's made with, made to the same ratios as a 50-50 powder. And, by volume, by the way. And so, and doing all the mathematics to be able to tell, this volume versus that volume. Thank you very much to Lane Beaver Company for, showing me what, your difference between specific gravities and densities equals. That allowed me to have enough, enough information to be able to extrapolate how much powder or how much nitrate versus how much carbon and how much sulfur was needed to be done to do. Now, when it all comes together, like I showed you, cannot fucking tell the difference in how dirty that shit is. Cannot fucking tell the difference for the life of me. And I've been shooting 50-50 powder for months now, almost 2 years now. Funner and shit. I love shooting black powder because, it's fun. But 50-50 powder, you cannot fucking tell the difference between that and the other. Just can't. Honest to God, I'm sitting here going, I think I'm just going to burn off all that balsa wood powder because it's junk. It had no power. Matter of fact, the ball was skipping across the ground. That's how I know my 50-50 powder's got the shit to it, and that balsa ain't. Now, if I loaded 60 grains of balsa wood powder to my 50 grains of my 50-50, well, there's good possibility I might be able to get out of this and have the same power. But again, this cylinder holds 50 grains of black powder. not 60 grains. It will not compress 60 grains. I'll have the ball riding proud. So 50 grains of black powder is all I can fit in this motherfucker. And to me, if I'm getting 1,000 feet per second, or damn near, out of my 12-inch barrel with the 50-50 powder, but I'm getting, relatively 700 to 750 from the balsa wood powder. Yeah, it's enough to do the job, sorta, I guess. But all that work that goes into making this stuff, I mean, if I'm going to put this much work into powder, I want it to have something to it. I want it to be able to drop a deer with my pistol. All right. And at the end of the day, be able to fill my freezer. I want it to be able to be, a defensive powder, a defensive load type powder, magnum powder to do the job. Sure, balsa wood is great. And mind you, some folks say they swears by it and whatnot, but for this much powder in there, I mean, like, you can see it in the video here, about yay much powder. I think you can see that much. And for that much powder, that was 2.5 weeks of work. I don't want to use that. I, honest to God, don't want to use this powder. It's got no power to it. None. I'd rather use the other. And I'm on this level of, I almost want to sit there and, over nitrate that other powder and make it into something near more close to Pyrodex, because at least, it'll have the fucking overwhelming power, but it's going to be dirty as hell. It's going to be hard to get the grunge off. Oh, motherfucker, what a pain in the ass. Oh, I hate legalities. Anyways, so you see what I'm saying. I don't like the balsa. I just don't. So for those of you that are like super fans of balsa wood powder, for those of you who are super fans of the balsa wood powder, more power to you, I guess. You enjoy it. But I'm going to continue using my 50-50 powder, because at the end of the day, that balsa sent a fucking projectile bouncing back across the ground at me. But my 50-50 powder was planting freedom seeds in a stump like that far in. And this is after going through water, mind you. Balsa wood bounced off, didn't even really leave an imprint on the damn thing. Kind of just bounced back at me and rolled across the ground. I was like, no, not doing that. That 50-50 powder, though, it'll take down a bear. If it'll kill a bear, I'm all right with it. So if you found this thing interesting or educational or entertaining at some point, go ahead and let me know. If you think that I'm a complete and total utter ass, why don't you let me know down in the comments where we can ignore you. And if you think that I might have some information that's fucking useful, let me know as well down in them comments. And if you think this was a good op-ed on the lies as we've all been fed, why don't you go ahead and give me a thumbs up? I know. Lane, you fucking shill. Only thing I'm shilling for is likes, comments, and subscriptions. Because the reality of it is, my channel might as well be dead on the fucking arrival anyways. Don't nobody like my videos. Let's be clear. Don't nobody like my videos. Y'all come over here just to, you know, basically watch me make a fool of myself anyway, so. I guess I made a fool of myself just to point out the untruths and lies has been spread here on the interwebs. Oh, well, go get yourself some balsa wood because the balsa wood actually tends to be more powerful and still is clean. Bullshit. Same amount of dirty. That's all I got for you today. Thank you very much. Y'all have a great one. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. Yes, ye old guardsman on. I'm out, motherfucker.